LinkedIn and other platforms. Again, I'm continuing the testing here. The idea is starting doing some more lives, maybe with our podcast in the future. But I mean, we are doing this at YouTube already. But the idea today is we're going to talk about GitHub for business teams. And at Avanti, one of our business, we use GitHub as a centralized way to manage not only code, but as also tasks. And the idea came out to say, okay, how about we try to manage all the tasks, like including business tasks in GitHub? And at Webera, we tried to do that, and we are successful. Now we have the entire workflow, even on board and off board of people in HR, all tasks like payroll, all that's related. We have like a bunch of template tasks, and we follow Scrum for the entire business. That means that we have only one to do the planning in the entire business. So every 2 weeks, we sit with the business team, marketing, sales, everybody, and we create tasks or issues, what they call in GitHub. So the idea today is, since it's for business, we assume that people wouldn't really know how LinkedIn, how GitHub works. And I wanted to try this too and share a little bit about GitHub. So GitHub is a platform that allows, it's kind of a social media, let's say, for code, where developers and code interact. It was bought by Microsoft around, I don't know how many years ago, but the fact is it's huge. It has more than 100 million users, uh, billions of lines of code, billions of projects, and maybe trillions. I don't know. I don't think we got to trillions yet. But it's a huge platform made for code. Lately, like in the last 2 years or year, basically, they're adding several features to project management. And those features allowed us to move some clients from Jira and from other tools to have a centralized code management and project management in GitHub. And as I mentioned in the beginning, the idea here is to show a little bit how would like a business user, an HR or someone like that would use GitHub for tasks, for managing tasks. So I'm gonna start basically like signing up. So there's no really way to sign up with another social account. I think it's different on the way they approach this, but it's okay. So I'm gonna sign up with like a Gmail, but like my Webera Gmail account. I will just add here a +1 at webera.com. I will put a very safe password here. I hope and I will create, oh, it's not very safe. So let's select one that is very safe. Okay, and let's create a username, Joao Zamboni Live. Let's save it one password so I don't lose it. And that is the beginning. So they will verify my account. I have to do this very tricky thing, as you know these days, right? It's very hard to go around with those things. Things are getting very hard to respond. Let me get the verification email that they sent here. Here we have a verification email, and boom. I think I should be able to get in now. Let me see here. Chosen Body Live. Signing. Ready. Great. So here is the beginning. At the beginning of GitHub, you have nothing. You have access to nothing, nobody. So you can go like to an introduction, see what they can do for you. Remember, the language is a bit hard for business users, but the idea is not we're not gonna use all the features for coding. Is we just want to manage tasks. So initially, it was developed for code. So you have a lot of language here that's focused on basically coding, right? I'm not sure if I can see here, but probably you can chat with me. Yeah, I don't see some questions here on Facebook. Let me see here if I see on LinkedIn. Uh, yep. I think you can see. Yeah, perfect. So initially you see a bunch of code related stuff like user, way to do the creating a repository, things like that. Uh, we have to think GitHub was designed and is designed primarily for code, as I mentioned earlier. But the idea here is that you can use for managed tasks. So let's create a simple, what they call repository. Repository is, imagine like a folder where you store files, data, and everything else. This folder will have not also files, but also tasks, what they call issues, discussions, which is kind of a forum. And of course, even the free version, you can create all private. So let's create our first repository here. Let's say, let's call business tasks. Let's call business. We can give a short description and let's move to private. That's the code part here. I would really recommend you add, so you can basically manage the entire thing through the web. You don't need to download the code or anything else, but it's a file, a simple file that has um, text file normally, and we create a repository here. As I mentioned, here you see the file, and this is the content of this README file. In every repo, GitHub as default, in every folder or subfolder, it will display by default on the page the content of this README file, readme.md, which is MD is a file type kind of markdown. It's a very simple way to use hashes and underscore and to format your code. So basically, you write a text file without formatting like bold or anything else. And by using these special symbols, not special, but like the hash at the beginning, you define if it's a heading or if it's a subheading or heading 1, 2, 3 up to 5, 4, sorry, and or underline a word or make it bold by just using simple code. We can explore this feature in the future. And here where you have the tasks or issues. Uh, so in this case, we have no issues yet. We just create issues. The first thing, but let's, and as an example, we can create our first issue here, and it's simple, right? It doesn't have many things. And here we can have an example of the markdown also. So let's say create the project for business. Let's organize the tasks inside our GitHub repository. Very simple. Then we can create a task list here also. which is simple. It uses and understands Markdown. So the way you create Markdown is task list is using the simple tool that you would use to write a text. It's just write. So create first issue, create first project, enable discussions. I think it's good. So you see here, there's two areas. There's a write and there's a preview. In the preview, I'll be able to see how does look like the final version of my Markdown when it shows like what would be what look like when you preview the issue. Let's create it. As you can see, now you have in the list of issues, you have our first issue. And each issue has its own checkbox. We can mark as complete or remove the completion. We can also here assign the issue to someone to resolve. And here we can also create labels that will make sure to us, like as an example, is related to marketing, is related to sales or something like that. Or it's a new customer, like we can identify it and use them for future later. We can also, newer versions, not newer versions, there is a new feature that we can set a type of the issue. An example, we use very often this in organizations where we have types for story, epics, and all these Scrum related tasks. Then take out. Here we also have already the sub-issues. You can have sub-tasks or issues that will allow us to have like a dependency or things that have to be completed together related to this task here. Instead of having tasks here, we could have like another issue that will be part of this group. Like this is a major task, and then other tasks will be related to this. Let's create one just for test. Let's say this is request. Let's say the issue types. That's a request that we have to do to GitHub. So they enable is a private beta yet. As issue types are a private beta, we needed to request access before use it. So, and then we can, when you see here, there is another task here, and here you can add comments. And then if we go here to the sub issue, you see that there's a parent issue here. So all the tasks of a normal tool to manage tasks are the features to a normal task management tool are here. We can also expand here to just see the issue. As I mentioned to you, we have other features here. An example, we could enable wikis, but not in this one because it's a free version. And we can enable discussions that are basically an internal forum to discuss tasks or discuss activities or tasks. So we have a series of categories that we can set different discussions, pose ideas, show and tell. We can move around between issues. So an example, we have a discussion that is ideas. Let's say plan for and no interference too far for a spring party, something like that. We start a discussion. Oh, uh, we are less than 2 months from the spring. We should definitely start to plan for this spring party. I don't know if you know, but in Virginia it's pretty cold today. Uh, so here we have a discussion. Other people can come in and add ideas and things like that. And then when you finish this, you can convert this to either close, or there is a way here to referencing a new issue, which you will create a new issue uh, relate to that discussion. So that's basically issues. Here, there is also a new version of projects where they actually have, and that's more like a organization level, that you can create a project management plan. In this case, let's say, let's create, we have some templates, but let's use all the templates for now. Let's say business project. You can have all the tasks that are in that repository moved here. So an example, let me go there on the business, and now I have to add, unfortunately, now we'll have to do in this way, but I'll soon show you how to add. This is one way to add the projects and the tasks to projects. So now they are here. I can also add here. So if I come here and type sharp, it allows me to show the repositories. And the tasks are here, the tasks that are not listed here yet. So now I added them here. But I also can do one very interesting thing, which is force all the tasks to be here on this project when they are created, which is this workflow here. I can go to workflows and add tasks automatically. So I just do this and then remove this. An issue or PR is open. It will automatically add here to the project. So in the end, when I go to the project, all my tasks will be here. And then I can start plan them all for free and all integrated with the developers if they wanted to add something. Another thing that I always enable in workflows is called when an item is added to the project, I normally set this automatically starts to do. That's another nice feature to enable. Then here, if I assign a task to myself, you're gonna see that I have my ugly picture here. And I also here see in this view the team capacity. And all those views are plenty of customization. In this case, is a table that show this field is grouped by priority. So here there's a priority. I'm sorting manual. It shows fields by count and estimate, and slice, which is this part by assignee. I can have multiple interactions. I can see roadmap. So when you add a project, you can create custom fields. And this project has a few custom fields here. One is priority, another one is size. If you are estimating size using t-shirt size, you can do an estimate. This is hours, I believe. I'm not sure what they're estimating here, and what interaction, which is automatically created here too. And then if you want to do a start date and end date, also is good. We have a whole way to do this using Scrum, like naming everything as a Scrum, and also organizing the tasks as more Scrum way. And also in the end, we also move this to here, which is my items. This is configurable here. You can do the settings, like all the custom fields, or like the status that you wanna, the way to do sub-issues in progress, priorities, size, estimate, interactions, which could be sprints, start date and end date. So all those, you can add new fields here too. Let's say an example, we could create one that is a pipeline for marketing or anything related to this. Well, I think for basic project management or task management in a business model, we can do this. But there are other things, like with a little bit of code knowledge or someone technical helping, you can easily create templates for tasks. We have some repositories that have huge, very complex templates where you have like a form to enter data. So this, when you create a new issue, you can definitely do that. Yeah, that's it. That was more like a test than a real presentation. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything else that we could help. And let me know if you like this kind of content. I hope to soon provide more details and things like to do that. All right. Enjoy, guys.